A part of me, of me. Turn around, give yourself the permission. Just know that you deserve it. But sometimes I get scared and dismissive. Don't wanna be this way. Don't wanna be this way, yeah. Don't you worry. Take your time, take it slowly. No, don't give in so easily. Yeah, you deserve to be free, yeah. Stop this thinking. Take a breath, stop your doubt and no. Don't you see toxicity and worrying has no meaning. I don't wanna be this way. It's never easy feeling like you're so alone, and your heart feels like a stone. Think about it night and day, wondering if you'll be okay. I'm here in this place once again, suffocating. It's drowning me too deep. I know I've gotta stop this, so yeah, don't you worry. Take your time, take it slowly. No, don't give in so easily. Yeah, you deserve to be free, yeah. Stop this thinking, take a breath, stop your doubting. No, don't you see toxicity and worrying has no meaning. I don't wanna be this way. Navigating through the clutter in my mind, I do this all the time. Think about all you've done, it's a journey. Just know that you deserve it. Look ahead and keep on walking, walking towards the light. Oh yeah, stop this thinking, take a breath, stop your doubting. No, don't you see toxicity and worrying has no meaning. I don't wanna be this way. Help me find the happy side of me, of me. Help me find the stronger part of me, of me. Turn around, give yourself that.
All right, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beyond the Label Fest 2021. Yes, it's a virtual edition. We live in extraordinary times. My name is John Yong, and I'm your host for this morning. And joining me is Team Singapore athlete, Silat World Champion, a very good friend of mine, and an overall very good human being, Nurul Suhaila. Good morning, Suhaila.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, John. How are you?
I'm all right, doing not too bad. I must say, I have worked with Suhaila for quite a few years now, but I'm just saying, putting this out there, every time, we've not done a lot of work in front of the camera together, but every time I know I'm going to be in front of the camera, I do feel a little stressed because
Why?
because she's a bit of a fashion icon, and you obviously can't tell today, but I'm actually quite the opposite. I'm a fashion disaster. I'm that guy
No.
who wears a singlet and shorts and slippers probably to Orchard Road and get judged
By
a couple of
choice, I
people.
would do that. By choice.
Well, that's just quite a bit of a background for for those of you who don't really know Suhaila. But anyway, back to the topic on hand today. We do have an exciting array of activities lined up for you. There's two parts to this morning's program. We will be starting off with a dialogue, a chat, an open conversation with Suhaila and myself, of course, and everyone else who's watching. Feel free to drop your comments in the comment section below because we do want to get these conversations going. Be part of the conversation, and this is our fight against mental health stigma. But before we actually dive into the program proper, I just want to give a bit of a background about what Beyond the Label is for the sake of those who are just joining us and those who may have been living under a rock the last couple of years. Beyond the Label is a multi-year nationwide public education campaign that hopes to address stigma faced by persons with mental health conditions in society. Having first started in 2018. That's about 3 years ago. The movement aims to encourage reflection on current existing attitudes from the public towards people with mental health conditions. And this morning's session in particular, we will be talking about sport and mental health. We know for a fact that studies have shown that sport does help to improve people's mental health in general. You feel calmer, you feel happier, the endorphins kind of that's released that make you feel basically shook, right? But for elite athletes, it's not quite the same, is it? You guys have other things to worry about.
Slightly more pressure
Slightly more pressure.
than like entertainment and
Just slightly.
a lot more.
Quite a lot more for athletes to deal with, I believe. I mean, and we do know that although mental health isn't exactly a new topic altogether, it has been cast on the international arena when it comes to sport this year, because we've seen the likes of Naomi Osaka withdrawing from the French Open. We've also seen Simone Biles, the US gymnast, doing likewise at the recent Tokyo 2020 Olympics, withdrawing her participation, citing her need to take care of her mental health. And of course, that has kind of like juxtaposed and divided public opinion, not just among the media, but I think the world over. I think this was something that in the past would have been seen as a more one-sided conversation. But how much have those incidents kind of like helped you, even for Team Singapore athletes, let's say, closer to home? Does it give you that kind of confidence to speak up a bit more about, to kind of recognize that, hey, listen, we may be elite athletes,
But we're
humans
human.
too, right? Yeah. So how has that kind of like shaped your thoughts on this?
I guess because such big personalities are coming out about it, so I think every one of us feel like, hey, they're feeling what I'm feeling, so it's okay. And if I need to speak up, then and seek help, then I will do it too.
Yeah, and maybe if you don't mind, Suhail, I mean, we do know that you've gone on to the international arena, you've been to big fights. Earlier this year, I believe, in one of the interviews we had with you, I wasn't one who interviewed you, I think Farah was one who interviewed you, but you did bring up the kind of some of the mental challenges as well that you had to overcome as an athlete. You faced the same opponent 3 times, you lost to her 3 times before finally overcoming her at the Silat World Championships. And how tough is it to keep facing the same hurdle and to lose, and to keep stumbling backwards? And how does that affect you?
That affected me deeply. Actually, I think after my 3rd loss to the same opponent, I actually told myself, like, this time if you lose again, you might have to find something else to do. But I guess that's one of the things that I learned through my journey, is really to get back up on your feet and try again. If you fail, it's not something that, like, okay, I gotta quit, but it's really just, okay, find a different alternative. How do I work around it now? But I feel that throughout the 3 losses, I needed that, because each time I learned something new. And by the 4th time that I faced her, I felt like a different fighter. And I guess like that's how I overcame her, through like the lessons that I learned throughout the 3 losses.
It's quite a balance that needs to be struck there, isn't it? I mean, it is true that sports builds resilience, right? I mean, especially among the elite level, you guys deal with failure over and over and over again before you actually make that breakthrough and become who you are. And along that journey, you become a lot more resilient. But that being said, is there a certain expectation that there's a certain bar, a certain level that you can't fall below? You feel that you owe it to, could be your coaches, could be your teammates, your parents, I don't know. It's something that, particularly in the area of mental health, does that actually prevent you from speaking up or reaching out as an athlete when you actually struggle? Or actually you don't feel that that's much of an issue?
I guess I feel that, okay, you have so much expectation on yourself, and people also expect so much from you. You just tend to like keep it to yourself, and you don't want to let people down. So most of the time, I'll confide in like my friends, the people I love, but usually with my coaches, I'll try to not to let him down. I know if I confide in him, he'll give me encouragement, but I guess I just want to look at it in a way like, okay, with my coaches, I just want to talk strategy, how to improve myself, but mentally, I guess sometimes, and most of us feel like it's like an internal struggle. It's like quite a lonely journey, I would say.
I would imagine that to be the case, right? I mean, because there are, whether it's as an elite athlete, or I think this extends to everyone else, not just elite athletes, whether you're in sports or not, I think fundamentally as humans, there are certain expectations of us, all of us, wherever we're in, whichever area that we may be in. And there's something just at the back of your minds that you feel that if I don't meet that expectation, I'm not enough. I'm not good enough, right? It's almost as if I have to be a certain way, or I need to achieve a certain an objective, or win a certain competition. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not as good as my teammates. I'm not as good as my sister, my brother. Things like that. And I think this kind of needs to be put out there a lot more, and to have these open conversations. And I think it's great that you're stepping up and we're having this conversation, and people out there, whether they're like aspiring athletes or youth who happen to be watching this, or even those who are not youth like myself, I think these are good reminders to kind of like let us know that we're really not alone in this, and I think studies have shown, I think it was in 2016, a mental health study showed that 1 in 7 Singaporeans actually suffer or have encountered mental health conditions over the course of their lifetimes. It's quite a startling.
More than you think.
Yeah, I mean, what number would you have thought that would be?
You said 1 in 7, right?
Yeah.
I would think 1 in 20.
Yeah, it's like nowhere near like that kind of a statistic. So it is a lot more commonplace than you think, and so we strongly encourage you to make full use of the resources that Beyond the Label offers. Of course, this is also a good chance for me to bring up Belle, the Beyond the Label help bot. If you've not yet checked out Beyond the Label's website or Facebook, Belle is over there. She's a help bot that will actually chat with you. Not quite a robot. It doesn't say like, how are you doing, Suhaila? Not quite that kind of a robot, but it's a bit more of an avatar. If you see, like she's a bit like a cartoon comic, and she will ask you what you need from her. And although she's not a certified medical professional or mental health professional, she is able to direct you to many resources that are available, some of them 24 hours, and also for, I think, helplines as well. So very useful resources. Back to the conversation that we were having earlier, I think, about athletes' pressure and expectation. I think a very useful thing to talk about, and a very relevant topic also, is keyboard warrior syndrome. It happens all over the world, in the sporting world, but also in Singapore. And I think we saw a very ugly side of that this year in particular.
Yes.
At the Olympics, when our athletes weren't really doing quite well. I myself, I mean, I wasn't the first to do it, but I made a post standing behind Joe Schooling, and there's a reason, because I know what you guys go through, but perhaps you can elaborate better. Have you ever encountered that personally? Comments on social media that kind of like nasty comments and stuff?
Yes. I mean, firstly, you already have pressure on yourself to win from your coaches, from your family, and then now your life is open up to the public to judge. And I mean, when you're doing well, this is what like most athletes feel like. When you're doing well, everyone's like, "Oh, I've always thought that you had it in you," and like they'll show you support and encouragement. But once, I mean, you have a disappointing result, or just like you lose a game, and suddenly everyone has something to say about it. So I guess what people forget is that we are human. We are real people with feelings. Usually on the internet, it's just a screen, so they're more brave to say whatever they think, whatever they want, forgetting that we're actually reading it and taking it into consideration. And some of us might, if I'm having a bad day, and then I just come online, and then here you are telling me, "Oh, you suck," and then I mean, I'll feel even more worse about myself. So I think athletes need a lot of support and encouragement, especially online, even if they come back with results that maybe people don't expect, or they expect you to win a gold, but you come back with a bronze. But I guess people don't really see your hard work behind it and what actually happened at the games. You only hear news and like maybe highlights. So I guess, yeah, just remember that you don't, not everything is on social media. You post your best, you post your worst, but yeah, you don't actually know what is actually going on behind the scenes.
That's right, quite aptly put by yourself, and I think it's quite a sad thing. I think there's a lack of empathy on the whole, on average, for keyboard warriors. I mean, I'm not trying to single out anyone here in particular, but I have personally encountered it as well. I think it's extended beyond elite athletes. Yes, I have encountered my fair share of nasty comments on social media, one of which is as recent as this year, in fact, during the Singapore Premier League match when I was a match commentator. And so I can totally relate to that. And yeah, I think that this is something that what you mentioned is something that needs to be kept in mind for people who, of course, we do want to have more fans of sports in Singapore. That's great. It's great to know that you feel you're passionate about it, you care about it. But just remember that whether you're dealing with athletes or other members, public members of the sports arena, they are human too, and they do have feelings, and it could take a toll on their mental health as well. So you do want to show a bit more of your support and piece of advice from Suhaila. Yeah. So as a Singaporean youth as well, I can't say the same for myself. Are there other things that, other areas of expectations that outside of the sporting arena that perhaps you would have faced in recent years?
Other than public and myself, of course, I guess the most obvious one is the pressure to win from coaches. I mean, when you compete, it's although I'm in an individual sport, like when you compete, you actually have like a whole village or a whole community behind you. So, I mean, you don't want to let them down, whether it is your direct coaches or your mental coaches, and then we on you, and your results basically tells them if their efforts paid off. Athletes really, they don't want to let you down. The way to thank them is actually to win. So I guess like that's the most pressure that I face usually when I compete.
Yeah. Well, certainly can relate to you there. Well, I've just been reminded as well. Now, but both of us, you could ask either of us any of your questions, and we'd be more than happy to have them answered over the course of this dialogue. In the meantime, we're just going to skip ahead to the next question about the fact that in Singapore, those who actually encounter mental health conditions, 3 out of 4 people actually choose not to reach out. Would you think that a big part of this comes down to the fact that people don't really understand what mental health is? It's almost as if, you know, you're thought of as a crazy person if you were to seek help professionally or like go to psychiatrists. Is that something you think, or have you ever been in a position that you felt you kind of would need a bit more support on that, in that area of your life, but you didn't feel comfortable doing so?
I think because I was conditioned to think that if you're struggling mentally struggling or just having a hard time, then seeking help means you're weak, means you don't know how to deal with it on your own, when in fact it's actually okay to seek help. So yeah, I think people don't talk about it because they think it's, oh, does it make me crazy? Does it make me problematic? But yeah, I think more people should talk about it and then make it normal.
Exactly like you said, it's almost as if like you're seen as less, right? I mean, if you can't deal with it on your own, you're not strong, especially for athletes when you're taught from a very young age that you have to be strong, that you have to be resilient. You don't show me your weak side, your vulnerable side. And I mean, it's a very valid point, and I do see where you're coming with that. Which is why we want to bring it back to this point as well, that I think we need to have more open conversations about mental health, and people do need to speak up and not worry about reaching out for help from time to time when they need to do so, because dealing with it on your own usually has some very disastrous consequences inside and outside of the sporting arena. I suppose just now we did speak a bit about mental resilience when you talked about you overcoming your opponents, but from the time you were a young athlete, are there any of those stories that... I remember there was a campaign that you did with Team Singapore before the SEA Games campaign. I think, was it your mum who was actually part of that as well? Perhaps you could touch a bit more on that, about how you overcame certain struggles as well.
A big part of it is really to have a good support system. So I have a really understanding and really encouraging people around me, especially like my parents. Since young, I mean, I wasn't like my siblings. I didn't enter the sport and in that instant, like, oh, I'm a fighter. But yeah, it took me a few years. I'm a late bloomer, but I think my mom and my dad was always there, always involved, always encouraging me. And yeah, I mean, also looking up to like my brother and my sister. So I guess like I was lucky in that sense. I wasn't alone. So yeah.
Yeah, and well, certainly you've overcome many of those challenges to become a world champion in your sport.
A few years later.
A few years later. And I do remember that triumphant moment at the OCBC Arena in 2018 for the World Silat Championships, and it's quite a moment, it's quite a journey. And so we do encourage people to speak up, and don't worry, at whichever point of your journey you're at, this isn't the end of your story, and you are definitely not alone. You've got an entire community rooting for you, and you've also got more time to drop your questions if you haven't done so far, because very shortly we will be transiting to the second part of today's segment. It's a part that Suhaila and myself are perhaps a little bit too excited about, because neither of us, to be honest, have actually led an online workout before. We have done online workouts with other people, but we were just having a conversation earlier, and neither of us have actually led one. So this is
try our best.
Yeah. So you do want to stick around for a while longer, because just to find out if we end up embarrassing ourselves. Well, if you're just joining us this morning, you are watching Workout Your Body and Minds. It is the topic of sport and mental health in part of Beyond the Label Fest 2021's virtual festival. There are more talks coming up. Be part of the conversation. This is a month-long event. Don't forget, you can sign up on Beyond the Label's website, and there is a lot more information available on their social media as well, on Facebook as well as Instagram. We're just going to take a quick check now on whether there are any questions coming at this point. If not, we will probably transit into the workouts. Are you ready for this, Suhaila?
I'm not.
Well, okay, we do have a question that's it's coming in from Happy Dappy 15. I think he or she says, "Hello, I just want to ask, how do you deal with a bad day?" Well, that's I'm just going to direct that to you first.
How do I deal with a bad day?
Yeah.
I learned this thing called parking my worries. So it's like when you park your car and you go home, you don't think about your car because it's there, and you'll come back to it tomorrow. So that's what I usually do, actually. Once I have a bad day, when I get home, my day is done. My worries are in the parking lot. So I'm here to just like relax, distress, and prepare myself for another day tomorrow. So yeah, it takes a lot of like mind training, I would say.
Yeah, I would imagine that would take quite a bit of mind training. I can't imagine. I can see the logic behind that, to be able to compartmentalize. You know, this was just a bad day. You know, it's nothing to do with me. I'm just going to take a break now, and tomorrow when I come back, when I see my car again, and then that's when you deal with it, right?
Yeah, I can deal with it then.
That's pretty. To be honest, I don't really have a better or another piece of advice. I think that's great from Suhaila. Yeah, if you were to ask me, what would you do if you had a bad day? I would just like try to sleep it off. But
Yeah.
whether or not I
You'll be dreaming
successfully
about
do it,
it.
I'll probably be dreaming about it. Yeah, because I am I have a very creative mind, so I do end up having thoughts that go wild. And yeah, thank you for that. That's how do you apply that actually more realistically for people who perhaps have not gone through training their minds? As I know athletes sometimes do have a bit of help as well in terms
Yeah.
of training your minds and visualizing and focusing. Are there any like simple tips that perhaps you can share with members of public?
So what I usually do is set the perfect environment for you to sleep. So whether it's temperature, scent, you need a little light, total darkness, and then I usually just like close my eyes and really think about the whole day, reflect on the whole day, what made me happy, what made me sad, why I was sad, and then what I'm grateful for about the bad day. So then if there is a problem, like, okay, but this is my time to rest, my time for my mind to rest, so we'll think about it the next day. And then, yeah, you slowly, I guess it takes a lot of practice actually, because I used to be someone who takes like 2 hours, 3 hours to sleep because I'm always thinking about what went on and then what's on the next day. But you can listen to podcasts before you sleep, or what helps for me is actually listen to like crime podcasts or like podcasts on like paranormal activities. Really something for me to take my mind off what happened during the day. Yeah, basically that you just have to take some time to think about your emotions that day, what happened that day, and I guess tell yourself to rest for that time.
I totally agree, and I think you brought up a very good point there as well about emotions, right? Sitting with our emotions. Although this we're talking a bit more about mental health at the moment, but the truth is our health and well-being is all interconnected, is all intertwined, right? So our emotional health is just as important. And I think you brought up a good point about that, reflecting on your day, what went wrong, what went right, what made you feel good, and what maybe didn't feel as good. And I know for a fact, also from personal experience, that the ability to sit with our emotions without judgment is a very important thing, right? Because most of us tend to define our emotions into either positive or negative emotions, but the fact is actually every one of them are just as important. They make up who we are, right? And the ability to sit with those emotions and to recenter ourselves is so important, because when you're able to do that, then I think your path towards self-acceptance, even if you didn't perform as well, even if you didn't hit certain expectations that people have of you, you're a lot more centered, and you know that your value, your worth isn't defined by those expectations. Yeah, I thank you. So thank you for that. I think that's a very good point you brought up. We do have another questions coming in from 815. And the question is, firstly, thank you guys for doing this. It's really important to have such conversations. One question: what motivates you or gets you out from bed every morning? Suhaila.
For me, one thing is really knowing that each day is a new opportunity for me to be the best version of myself. So if I feel like I didn't have a nice day yesterday, I'm like, okay, it's another opportunity for me to try again, do it, and yeah, that's what gets me out of bed.
Fantastic. And I assume now it's my turn to say something about this question. And for me, in recent times, and at least in the last few months, I think my motivation has been my goal. I just recently started my own company. I was working previously like with Sports Singapore and in One Place Sports, right? But now I have my own company, and when you are purpose-driven, when you know there's a goal, that gets you up every morning pretty much. You get excited because you're doing what gives you life, right? You're willing to make sacrifices. You don't feel like they're sacrifices. You may be getting less sleep sometimes, but you just see so many possibilities. You see so many opportunities, and you see the steps because you have a vision of where you want to go. You're willing to wake up early to take those steps to get to where you are. So that's what kind of like gets me out of bed early in the morning. Although sometimes I would love to sleep in a little longer as well, because I do think that all of us can do with a bit more rest There was, I think, a recent survey that said Singapore is the most tired nation, or second highest.
saw that.
Yeah, you saw that, right, on social media. So I think we do still need to have enough rest, but I hope we did answer your question about getting out of bed and what motivates us. Another one that just came in from Johnny Lionel, I think. Is sports more of a mental or a physical game? Very good question, Johnny. What would you say?
That's a tough question. I would say 50-50 actually. Because if you're physically capable but you're not mentally strong, you tell yourself you can't do it, you tell yourself you're not good enough, then no matter how good your physical capabilities are, then I don't think you can go that far.
Yeah, I totally agree with Suhaila there, because especially if you're in the realm of competitive sports, you can't run away from the mental aspect of the game. It's something that just sooner or later you need to deal with it. And in fact, the higher the level you go, the more challenging it becomes. The bar is set higher. You will face even more setbacks. And that's where the mental game really comes in. Whether it's an endurance sport, whether it's a team sport, whether it's a combat sport, I think the mental aspect of the game is so important. You can train your bodies. Of course, there's also a lot of technical aspects and details that go into that part of the aspect of your training, but I think it's both equally important. So another great question there. And another one also. Hi, Suhaila. When you failed 3 times, what did you do to pick up again for each failure? That pressure must not be easy. Did you have any professional help from a psychologist or counselor?
Failing 3 times was a journey for me. I mean, crying a lot the first loss, crying a lot the second loss, but I think the third loss put everything into perspective for me. I mean, I did not seek help at the point in time because I felt like I was undeserving of it. I thought like, okay, I need to fix myself first, be good enough for me to actually get help from other people. But I guess how I got through it is actually just setting a goal, like you said. If I realized that every loss I was improving just a little bit, maybe not good enough to win, but still a little bit. So that was what kept me going. Like, don't strive for a win, just at least progress. And I guess since young, I've always been quite resilient. So no matter how badly I fall, like I would still like, okay, I'll cry, I'll grieve for a few days, maybe a few weeks, but then I'm back to the drawing board the next day. So I guess that's something a lot of people should train their mind to do. Like no matter how bad you feel, there's always a way if you believe in yourself. So.
That's a very important lesson that can be picked up from elite athletes, of course, our Team Singapore athletes, having that attitude of and focus, regardless of how many times you've lost, and even if you've plateaued in terms of your overall performance, to understand even sometimes with public criticism of you and your performances, to still go back to train, to go back to the drawing board and continue to train and not lose that motivation. I think that's what sets some of the athletes, or the elite athletes at least, apart from the rest of the world in that sense. And it's something that I think can be applied even to all of us, the rest of us who are not in elite sports. So thank you so much for that, Suhaila. Do we have any more questions coming in at the moment? Just doing a quick time check on things, because we are supposed... Oh, I think we do have a bit more time, if I'm not wrong, before we actually transit into the workouts. But if we don't have any questions at the moment, we can probably transit into the workouts first, and you guys can continue to drop your questions in the comments, and these will be picked up later on and curated by the Beyond the Label Fest folks. So if not, shall we get our... Oh wait, there's another question that came in before we end off. Fizz 2, as a Silat fighter, who is your role model?
Oh my gosh.
You're putting Suhaila on the spot there, Fizz.
My role model. I mean, not specifically fighters, but I do look at athletes in general, Cristiano Ronaldo, for example. But closer to home, I would say I really look at my teammates. For example, Sheikh Farhan. He's 2 years younger than I am, but he's a 3-time world champion. And I mean, seeing him every day training, you really pick up on his habits, his discipline, and I see him train every day. I see how he eats, how he communicates, how he acts. Basically, that's something that I really am very amazed by. So yeah, I think Sheikh Farhan, if you're looking for local role models, you should look up to him.
I would imagine. I mean, I do follow football quite a bit as well, both internationally and locally. And that part about athletes actually picking up on the habits of other fellow athletes as for potential inspiration and as their role models, I think that plays a huge part, isn't it? Since you spend a huge amount of time with each other, and those who have actually achieved what you were hoping to achieve, perhaps, kind of become an inspiration for you. Was there another question that came up just now that says, for motivations to stay strong and hang on, is this something that we touched on earlier, or would you like to add on to this, Suhaila, for motivations to stay strong
I
and
think we touched on that.
Okay, we did? Okay. Wow, John, can you share who is your role model for inspiration as well? I have a lot of role models. This is something I've come to understand a bit more about myself in recent years. I've kind of dipped my toes into everything. I would see myself as a jack of all trades, but a master of none. And because I have had very varied life experiences, I've been through a couple of life-changing moments as well. And I've met a lot of people across multiple circles in the sports and fitness industry and beyond. Each of these people, who I feel are much better than I am, they are my source of inspiration. If, let's say in sports presentation, this role alone, there are at least 3 or 4 people, even locally, that I can look up to, that I'm trying to pick up tips on how to become a better presenter at. As a producer, there also is another set of people that I kind of look up to and learn from, as a marketer, as a business owner, different areas. So I don't really have one person that I kind of like look up to as a role model. Maybe some people could say my family members, my parents, I do love them, but we kind of like operate in very different circles. So there are also other things that they can't really help me with as much. So yeah, sorry, I don't have one name out there for you.
Just bits and pieces from different
It's
people.
really from, really for me, it's really about picking up the best practices or the best skill sets or best things of each person, because I believe that everyone is unique.
Yeah.
No one is good at everything, but there's always something that you can pick up from every person
Definitely.
you kind of like cross paths with, right? So that's me. Yeah. If not, we are gonna set ourselves up for the workout. Don't forget, you guys can continue to drop your questions, and if they do come in after this, sorry, we do have another one. It's good that the questions are coming in, and it's come in from She Breathed and Let's Go. Have you supported any of your fellow peers when they face failure? How did you help them out? This is actually a pretty good question, but Suhaila, maybe you can go first.
Failure is not only in sports, but I have friends who are not athletes. I guess how I actually help them and how I like to be helped is basically respect their space. All you can do actually as a friend is to lend a listening ear, be there to support them. And I guess sometimes you need to know that you don't need a solution for your friend. You just have to be there, listen to them, and they can actually find their own solution just by renting it out to you, talking it out with you. So yeah, I think I'm a very patient and very understanding friend, very non-judgmental friend. So my friends feel very comfortable with just talking to me, letting everything out, and I can really relate to their emotions really well. So that's how I really be there for my friends.
It's great. I mean, I suppose if you have not yet figured out, Suhaila is a very compassionate and very patient person. Beyond just being an athlete, I can't quite say the same for myself. I'm not always very patient, although I have come to through my own journeys to become a more understanding person. I'm still trying to improve my listening. I did also actually, in the course of my time working, I do have a lot of friends, of course, as you know, from the athlete circle, right? And some of them did face problems, very major problems. Or in their minds, at least, they think it's a major problem. And they were very young athletes. I can't mention their names. And some of them, even to the point of even contemplating some very things I shouldn't be mentioning here. But I did offer my help in providing context to psychiatrists that I have gone to before, because I myself had that faced some problems over the years. But they didn't really go to the psychiatrist in the end, because of course there are sports psychologists and other people that they can go to. And at the end of the day, I think it boils down to that same issue that we're talking about. There's a certain stigma that goes around this topic of mental health that makes them uncomfortable to actually go seek professional help. They were more comfortable talking to me about it, but in the end, they didn't really take up the offer of connecting them to professional help. So don't forget, this is something that we need to talk about, because these are very real stories, and we're not just making it up here. Through our own friends, our own circles that we've encountered over the years, these are real problems. So yeah, so do reach out. NCSS Beyond the Label has contacts, has resources that you can tap on for a listening ear and beyond, even to help you in whatever specific issues that you may have where professional mental health experts are concerned. We're now going to transit into the workouts, and thank you so much for those questions. Don't let us stop you from continuing to ask your questions. You can drop them below, but now we are going to be moving to the second part of today's segment, which is the workouts, and we hope you're looking forward to it as much as we are. I'm not too sure whether we're going to be as prepared for it, because this is Suhaila and my first time, but nonetheless, we hope you will get a good workout, because this was done with the feedback from the audience, from you guys. And so I'm just going to switch my mic off now, because I'm going to transit to the other mic. If you don't, sorry, is it on? Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. We did have a poll that went out last Sunday, I believe, on Beyond the Label's Instagram, asking you guys what kind of workouts you prefer, the level of intensity, which body part. What's the last one? I forgot. What's the last question that was on the poll? Do you remember?
Time-based?
Yeah, whether it's time-based or rep-based. So we kind of had a brief chat this week, Suhaila and I, and we've come up with 3 groups of workouts, or 3 sets working on the upper body,
Lower body, and core.
Yeah.
Second most popular one.
Yes, second most popular one. And so what we'll be doing, it's going to be in each of these groups of exercises. For the upper body, there's going to be 3 exercises, lower body 3 exercises as well, and then core we have 4 exercises for you. What we'll be doing is we'll be doing a rundown and demonstration of each of these exercises before we go into that group of exercises. It's going to be 30 seconds of work and 15 seconds of rest, and we'll be doing 2 cycles of each of those workouts. I hope I didn't really confuse anyone there. But don't worry, because we will be repeating this again later on as we go through the workouts. So we are going to start off with the upper body set of exercises. I'm just going to reach out to get my phone here, because I think we have those exercises on my notes here. And yeah, the timer. But perhaps we can start off with a quick demonstration of the set of upper body workouts. We're going to start off with push-ups. The first one is going to be push-ups, and this is something that obviously I believe most people are familiar with, right? But especially the boys, the guys who have been through the army and all that. But we do have a regression for those of you who are not able to do a workout, and I think Suhaila is probably going to be doing a demonstration for that. If you can't do a normal push-up, you can keep your knees on the ground and do it as such. Yeah. So this is a regression. If you can't do a normal push-up, that's how you do it. For the guys, it really doesn't matter if you're going to be putting your hands close together, how wide apart. What you want to keep in mind is that your shoulders should be above your wrists. And a common mistake, I would say, for push-up is a lot of people think it's just a chest, a shoulder, and a triceps. You're working that, but actually you should be engaging your core as well. So what that means is that you need to be tucking in your tailbone, and you need to be squeezing your glutes. So this is how a good push-up should look like. Okay, that's how it should look like. I should just do one at the side as well, for the sake of cameras, in case you guys don't. Okay, whether or not your chest really touches the ground, we're not going to go into that, because we're really trying to get everyone involved. The next one, Suhaila, is alternating push-up planks. you want to do talk us through that one?
I guess, okay, we all start in a push-up position.
Okay.
We don't need to go all the way down. So I think the girls or anyone can just get their knees up. And what you need to do is basically just go into an elbow plank and then back up again.
Back up again.
Yes.
All right.
Easy.
Easy. Well, doing one was already a bit of a challenge, but let's see how we go for that one. And then the last one of the upper body group set of exercises that we have is actually, let's see. It's mountain climbers. Well, actually, mountain climbers, some people would think it's a lot more of a core work. It does involve a lot of core for this, but there is quite a bit of upper body work as well. So the thing about mountain climbers, you do want to make sure that your hips, you're not doing this, because if you're doing this, technically, you're not really engaging your core as much. You do want to keep your body as low as you can, and your elbows, your shoulders above your wrists as well. And don't do it fast. I think this applies not just to this particular workout, but across all our workouts today. We're going to be doing time-based workouts, so it's less important to do, not so much about doing it fast, but doing it at a constant pace that you can sustain throughout. It can be slow, but to do it right with the right form, right? So are we ready to do this? It's going to be 2 cycles or 2 rounds of these 3 workouts, 30 seconds of work with 15 seconds of rest in between. I hope you guys are ready because we're waiting. So I actually have a timer, Tabata app on my phone. You won't be able to see it on the screen, but I will be doing the countdown for you guys so that you know how much time. I hope you have your mats ready, your water bottles ready,
towels,
and your towels as well, don't forget. And hopefully you're doing this from the comfort of your own home. So we're going to do the countdown now. It's on 10, 9, 8. So you can, for those of you who are a little kiasu, you can probably get into your push-up positions. It's going to be push-ups. There you go. 30 seconds.
I'm going to do the other one.
27. Okay, 25 seconds left. I'm just going to be counting down the time for you guys because I don't think you can see it on the screen. You've got about 10 seconds left.
How are you doing, John?
Yeah, just continue to do it because there's a time base. It doesn't really matter how many reps you do it, and it's more important to do it slow and right. Okay, alternating push-up planks. No, that's next. We have 15 seconds rest, right? So 10 more seconds of rest. Gonna loosen up your arms a bit.
Not too bad.
I don't know how my personal trainer instructors do it. And go! Got about 20 seconds left.
It's tougher than
I've
I
always
thought.
envied my personal trainer friends who are able to do this without panting through the workout because it can be challenging to talk and do it at the same time. 5 seconds left. And breathe. Whew. We're almost halfway there. Mountain climbers next. And we're halfway through the upper body workout. All right. Okay. "15 seconds left. "5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, and breathe. We're halfway through the upper body workout. How are you feeling, Suhaila?
My arms are burning. It's my first workout of the day.
If you guys do need to take a break in between and have a drink of water, please don't let us stop you. Back to push-ups. "20 seconds left. "10 seconds. And a break. Got the alternating push-up planks next. And wasn't expecting a Saturday morning workout before this, but hey, got one now. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're down to the last set of exercises for the upper body. Mountain
Thank
climbers.
God.
Yeah, thank God. And go. "15 seconds, we're halfway through, guys. Hang in there. You can do this." And I'm just not just telling it to everyone out there, but to Suhaila and myself as well.
I needed
Yeah. 3, 2, and 1. Well done, everyone. We're done with the upper body.
Good job.
Got 1 down, 2 more groups of exercises to go. And yeah, this is probably a good time if you do have some water on this side. If you need to wipe down your sweat, you can do so. And we will be talking you through the next set of exercises, which is actually the lower body workout that we have designed. I won't be telling you which of us chose which workout, so you won't kill us. But yeah, so Suhaila, what do you have in mind for the perhaps the lower body? I think
Lunges.
the reverse lunges, right?
And
So I
then-
think for reverse lunges, the important thing to take note of here is actually a very good workout for those people with instability in their knees, right? So what you want to focus on is for the supporting knee, the knee that's not doing the moving. You don't want it to be shifting too much. You want it to be placed in a position, and you're just really moving your other leg back, flexing it backwards, and back up, right? It's as simple as that. I don't think we need a regression for this, hopefully, but it's really just going back, right?
How
And
far
up.
do you go?
I think it's you could go as far back as you possibly can if you want, but your knees shouldn't be touching the ground, right?
Okay.
So that's the first one. Only just 3 exercises for the lower body.
And then I think we have squat jumps.
Yeah.
Okay, so we start off with shoulder width apart usually, and you can go, I wouldn't say as low as you want, but usually parallel to your knees. Your butt and your knees are together. And then you just go up, jump, and then and then you go back down. 30
Fantastic.
seconds isn't too bad, right, Kuta?
Yeah, 30 seconds for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, can do it. Yeah, so squat jumps, training that explosive movement for you, and particularly for sports and competitive sports, that's a great skill set to have as well. And the last one, you finally get to lie down on the ground. It's a glute
What
bridge, what we call a glute bridge. So, or some people call it hip raises, right? So for the glute bridge, the main thing, I'm just going to turn it around so you can have a better look at things here. You want to make sure that your chest is open, right? You don't want, some people would actually tuck their necks and look forward. You don't want to do that. You want to lie back down. You want to make sure that your chest is open and your legs shouldn't be too close or too far apart. When you actually move up, you want it to be kind of like your knees to be directly above your ankles, right? So this is one, and then down, another one again, and down. So this is a glute bridge. So this is the lower body setup workouts. 3 of them, 2 cycles, the same thing as before. And just gonna let you guys catch your breath, or maybe that's us, for another 10 seconds as I set my timers for this one. And yeah, we should be good to go.
I'm a bit nervous for this.
We're starting with the reverse lunge, right? Yeah, okay.
Reverse lunge,
All right.
squat jumps, and then
the glute bridge.
bridge.
Okay, so we're on 10, 9, countdown is here. 7, 6. Okay, ready. Let's go. Now you want to focus on a point in front of you. If you do find it a bit tough to balance, just find a point somewhere in front of you to focus on, so that you won't be shifting too much or having some problems, particularly those with unstable knees. I'm going to do this slow. All right, 15 seconds rest, and we'll be having the squat jumps next.
Not too fast.
Not too fast. Telling people that, I can remind
Good
myself that as
form,
well. Yeah,
and-
just slowly. And go. "12 seconds left. Almost there, guys. 7, 6, 5. Oh yeah, I can definitely feel my quads for that one. I don't know about you, but that's a very good workout for your quads. And we're gonna be getting on the ground now for the glute bridge. Okay, we're halfway through, guys. Halfway through for the entire exercise, not just for this group of exercises now. So it's back to lunges, reverse lunges.
Halfway there.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to share the time with everyone. It's 8 seconds left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ding ding! Love the ding ding sounds because it always means you get 15 seconds of rest in between.
Next jumps.
Yeah, get ready, my quads, for this.
I'm dying,
Silent lips are
honestly.
done. 10 seconds left. Almost there, guys. Come on.
When it's
Almost
10
there.
seconds, you
Yes,
push
5
harder.
seconds. 4, 3. Woo!
Oh my gosh.
Good job. We've got another one. This is probably your favorite of the whole set because you get
Yes.
to lie down. Glute bridge. Last glute bridge. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. Good job, guys. We're done with exercise group number 2, lower body workout. So we've done the upper, we've done the lower, and we're down to our last
Can
group
stay
of-
on the ground.
Yeah, we wish we could stay on the ground all the way, but yeah, you guys voted for core as the second most popular one after the full body workout, which is why we're doing a full body workout right now in the first place. And there's going to be 4 exercises. The previous 2 we had 3. Now there's 4. Okay, but it's the final one, so you just hang in there because we're almost done for the day, right? So for core, for the last set of workouts, the core workouts, we're going to start off with the first exercise, which is panther shoulder tap. So how you do this is you want to make sure you're in a bit of like a bear crawl position. Make sure that your legs are should be parallel to the ground. And all you need to do is tap your shoulders on the opposing ends. This is how you do a panther shoulder tap. Okay? Next up is
What is the next one?
butterfly sit-up. Okay. So the regression for the butterfly sit-up would be a normal sit-up if you find this difficult, but actually it's all you have to do is just keep your legs open like this. I'm actually not the most flexible of people, but it's basically doing a sit-up with your legs like this. So you go down, and then you come up. Right? So you keep your legs open. By right, if you're more flexible than I am, this is supposed to go all the way down. But obviously I don't have the most
Not me
flexible
either.
hamstrings or glutes, so I'm not doing the best demonstration. But if you can, try to bring this down, and then just go down and up. That's the butterfly sit-up. And then the third one that we have is leg raises.
Leg raises, I guess.
Yeah, leg raises, yes.
Okay, we're gonna still be on the ground.
Yep,
You can put your hands behind you
yep.
for easier. If you want to do it easier, or you can put it. But I think you would do it on the back though. And then all you
Okay.
need to do is lift your feet, keep it as straight as possible, up and down, but don't hit the ground, and then go
Ah.
back up.
Okay, she's already enjoying doing this. We're gonna save it for later. But we have one last one as well, Suhaila, and that is reverse press-ups. You can show us that.
Okay, the last one.
Yeah.
It's not that tough. So in the same position that we were in for our leg raises, all you need to do is, hold on, can I take? My
because
mic at the back,
you're lying on it, right?
And
Okay.
then all you need to do is, again, bring your hip up off the ground
Okay.
and then back down.
Okay. So basically, there's a lot of hip movement for this one. Okay, so this is a reverse press-up. Well, I hope you guys are ready, because we will be starting the final group of exercises in about 15 seconds. I'll be starting my countdown now, very soon. Let's do this. We can do this. 9, 8, 7, 6. First one is panther shoulder taps, remember.
This one? How you
20
so
seconds
stable.
left. 18. I'll do it at every 5-second intervals. I'll update you guys. 10. 5. 'All right. Next up is the butterfly sit-up. Try to do this on the side, so I hope you guys can hear the audio. Got 15 seconds left. We're done. Breathe for 15 seconds. Next would be leg raises. So instead, you continue to be on the floor. We'll be doing leg raises now. Got the microphone on the back of my... Just doing a little slight adjustment there. Now, I think for those of you who are not as flexible like I am, I think it's not so much about keeping your legs straight all the way, but to make sure that you're getting the maximum range of motion while doing it right. Particularly for those doing explosive sports like football, track and field, rugby. You may have very tight glutes and hamstrings. Last one, reverse press-ups. Trying to do this right, I'm looking at Suhaila. So you probably know who said this particular exercise.
Just have to
Yeah.
reach your toes to the ceiling.
We've got 12 seconds left. 9, 8, 4. All right, we're halfway through. Doing good, everyone. Halfway through. 6 seconds left. Counting down back to penta shoulder taps.
Oh no, wait.
'Remember, it's not about doing as many as you can or as fast as you can. It's about doing it right at a pace that you can sustain. And breathe. Butterfly sit-ups next.
I think it gets easier when you put it further away.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely that. I'm gonna try to do that. "15 seconds left. 10, 5, 'All right, have a breather. Leg raises. It's right down to Hyla Valley.
I think the first two was tougher for me.
The first few, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Gonna get this done. Certainly feeling my lower abdominals quite a bit with this workout. Not too sure about everyone else, but if you are engaging your core, then you should be feeling it. We're down to our very last exercise, guys, and that is the reverse press-ups. I'll bring this a little closer to me so you guys can still know the time, because I wasn't bringing it side. 20 seconds left. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Ding, ding, ding! Triple bell there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know Suhaila and I did. I don't know about Suhaila, did you?
I did. Broke a sweat.
Definitely broke a sweat, and yeah. While we're trying to catch our breaths, I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for tuning in this morning. We certainly hope you enjoyed this session as much as Suhail and I did. I think we started off not entirely sure if everyone is going to enjoy this, because it is a bit of a niche topic, and but we hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, do you have anything to add on before I wrap up?
Before we wrap up, last words?
Yeah, possibly.
I guess what we learned from today is know that you're not alone. We're all facing our struggles. So don't be afraid to firstly speak up, ask your friends for help, and then seek help, professional help early. Before, I took like 10 years maybe, but yeah, I'm seeing a psychologist now, and it's really helping me be more like self-aware and more ways to deal with myself and my mind. So I think it's gonna help a lot of people. So don't be afraid. We're all in this together.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I couldn't have put it any better than Suhaila has. I think we can't stress enough how important it is to have more of these open conversations, and in this fight against mental health stigma, because it is a lot more common than you think. You are not alone in this, as Suhaila already mentioned. So you do have a community to support you around this. Not to forget that Beyond the Label Fest continues for the entire month. It doesn't stop here. There are a lot more programs that you can sign up for over the course of the next month, as other sessions like today as well, beyond just sports, programs, initiatives. More details are available on the Beyond the Label website, as well as on their social media. Now, if you guys, you can find out more about the links in the comment section below as well. So don't forget, if you do have more questions, don't be afraid or don't feel shy to drop them in the comments below, because we do have a team here who will be curating the questions, and Beyond the Label will be getting back to you guys. We certainly hope you enjoyed the session. And this is Suhaila and John signing off. Take care, stay safe. We'll see you. Bye.
Just know that you deserve it, but sometimes I get scared and dismissive. Don't wanna be this way, don't wanna be this way, yeah. Don't you worry, take your time, take it slowly. No, don't give in so easily. Yeah, you deserve to be free, yeah. Stop this thinking, take a breath, stop your doubt and no. Don't you see, toxicity and worrying has no meaning. I don't wanna be this way. It's never easy, feeling like you're so alone, and your heart feels like a stone. Think about it night and day, wondering if you'll be okay. I'm here in this place once again, suffocating. It's drowning me too deep. I know I've gotta stop this, so yeah, don't you worry. Take your time, take it slowly. No, don't give in so easily. Yeah, you deserve to be free, yeah. Stop this thinking, take a breath, stop your doubting. No, don't you see, toxicity and worrying has no meaning. I don't wanna be this way. Navigating through the clutter in my mind, I do this all the time. Think about all you've done, it's a journey. Just know that you deserve it. Look ahead and keep on walking, walking towards the light. Oh yeah, stop this thinking, take a breath, stop your doubting. No, don't you see, toxicity and worrying has no meaning. I don't wanna be this way. Help me find the happy side of me, of me. Help me find the stronger part of me, of me. Turn around, give yourself the permission. Just know that you deserve it, but sometimes I get scared and dismissive. Don't wanna be this way, don't wanna be this way, yeah. Don't you worry, take your time, take it slowly. No, don't give in so easily. Yeah, you deserve to be free, yeah. Stop this thinking, take a breath, stop your doubt and no. Don't you see,